So I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but this is a wild story. It's regarding a program funded by Minnesota called Feeding Our Future, which is a program set up during the COVID pandemic to feed children in need. How fraud swamped Minnesota's social services on Tim Walz's watch. Federal prosecutors charged dozens of people with felonies, accusing them of stealing hundreds of millions of dollars from a COVID program meant to keep children fed during the COVID-19 pandemic. Over the last 5 years, law enforcement officials say fraud took root in pockets of Minnesota's Somali diaspora, as scores of individuals made small fortunes by setting up companies that billed state agencies for millions of dollars worth of social services that were never provided. Federal prosecutors say that 59 people have been convicted in those schemes so far, and that more than $1 billion in taxpayer money has been stolen in 3 plots they are investigating. That is more than Minnesota spends annually to run its Department of Corrections. Outrage has swelled amongst Minnesotans, and fraud has turned into a potent political issue in a competitive campaign season for Governor Tim Walz and fellow Democrats, which are being asked to explain how so much money was stolen on their watch, providing Republicans who hope to take back the governor's office in 2026 with a powerful line of attack. Many Somali Americans in Minnesota say the fraud has damaged the reputation of the entire community, around 80,000 people, at a moment when their political and economic standing was on the rise. And I'm sure, like most of us, you imagine that there's got to be fraud that goes on with some regularity with various government programs, but this is just outlandish. I mean, I had no idea that anything of this magnitude, even with the unusual amount of funding that was, being spent during the COVID pandemic to help out Americans in need. I mean, this is just wild stuff. The Republicans are going to have a field day with this, and it's, a shame for a couple of reasons, mainly because of the 80,000 Somalis these are all people, by the way, that were convicted of the fraud or have been charged, are their citizens, like American-born or naturalized citizens. But for all the others, whether that be the case or not, of this 80,000, it's just going to disparage this incident is going to cause, I think, a lot of Americans to just disparage the entire group, which seems to be a trend in this country whenever you have a certain group of minorities that, whether it's a small portion of them or a larger portion that get caught up in some sort of scandal like this, the tendency is for a large portion of Americans to disparage the entire group. And in addition to that, I like Tim Walz. I think he's done some good things for the state. But, I mean, some people have to go down for this, whether it's him or other people that work on the state level. I almost wonder if he should consider resigning. But at any rate, that's the gist of it. If you want to check it out, it's on the New York Times. I'm sure there's other websites that you could find it on as well, other editorials. It does say also that the program's annual cost ballooned to more than $104 million last year, according to the authorities, from a budgeted projection of $2.6 million when it began in 2020. I mean, it's a pretty big red flag right there. Some fraud is going on. So anyway, hope you all are enjoying the day. Have a good weekend.